I am going to tell you how to implement two input XOR gate using BiCMOS logic. The logic function of two input XOR gate can be written as f is equal to a bar b or a b bar. This can also be written as the complement of XNOR gate, that is a bar, b bar or ab whole bar. As we know that any function what we implement in BiCMOS logic, that is a complemented form. Therefore, I am going to use equation 1 to implement my two input XOR gate. Here one more thing I want to tell. I am going to treat a and a bar as a separate variable. Similarly, b and b bar as a separate variable. So it is going to be the function of 4 variable input. Therefore, it requires total 3n plus 1 plus 2 transistors, that is total 15 transistors. So let us implement two input XOR gate. A bar, B bar, A, B, A bar, B bar, A, B, VDD and ground. So this is, I am having a two input XOR gate using CMOS logic. We require the copy of pull down network. So draw the copy of pull down network as well. A bar, B bar, A, B. Output of CMOS stage will go as an input as a base terminal to BJT transistor. Collector terminal is connected to VDD supply rail. We have a load capacitor CL. The emitter of the second BJT is connected to ground. To remove the base charge, we require one more MOS transistor. The gate of this MOS transistor is connected to the output node of the CMOS stage. So it requires 3n plus 3 transistors, 3n plus 3 transistors, that is equal to 15. Here n is equal to 4. So let us just write the transistor count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. We know that XOR gate produces output 1 when both the inputs are different. So let us take that one specific case when A is 0 and B is 1. This is 1. B bar is going to be 0 and hence transistor 2 is going to be on. A is 0, so transistor 3 is going to be on. So the output stage of the CMOS logic is connected to VDD rail via transistor 2 and 3. Therefore, a current will flow to the base of transistor T14 and it will on the transistor T14 and the output node will charge to logic 1. As A is 0, so transistor 7 is not going to conduct. B is 1, so transistor 6 is not going to conduct. Therefore, we don't have a direct path to ground from the output node of CMOS logic. Similarly, transistor 11 is off and transistor 10 is off. Therefore, the output node is not connected to the base of transistor T15 and hence we have no provision to ground the output. So, for the input combination A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 1, this particular logic gate is going to produce a high output. I am going to implement one more example. The expression is AB plus C whole bar using BiCMOS logic. So whenever we have a product term that is like AB, the pull down network is going to be in series and the pull up network is going to be in parallel. So first we will implement this function in CMOS logic. So A and B are going to be in parallel and the overall thing is going to be in series with transistor C in. A and B are going to be in series and the overall thing is going to be in parallel with C. We have a VDD connection, we have a VSS or ground connection. We require a copy of pull down network, so make that another copy. A, B and C. The output of CMOS stage goes as an input to the base terminal of BJT transistor. One node of the pull down network is connected to the output node and another node is going to be connected to the base of the second BJT transistor. We require one more MOS transistor to remove the base charge of transistor Q2 and the gate of this transistor is connected to the output node of CMOS stage. Now I am going to compare CMOS logic versus BiCMOS or BJT based logic. In CMOS logic, we have either pull up network on or pull down network on. So we never have a direct path, low resistance path from VDD to ground, and hence it offers low static power dissipation or negligible. Ideal case, we can say we have a zero static power dissipation, whereas in the case of bipolar logic we have seen there was a direct path or low resistance path from the VDD to ground rail, so we have high static power dissipation. In CMOS logic we are using MOSFET, where the channel is isolated with the gate using SiO2, that is a dielectric material, so it offers high input impedance compared to bipolar logic. CMOS logic offers high noise margin compared to bipolar logic, as the MOS transistors are bidirectional, means source and drain they can be interchanged, or alternatively I can say that it is a voltage on the terminal which decide the given terminal is source or drain, and hence they can be fabricated with a minimum size and offers high packing density, whereas the emitter and collector dimensions are not same. Collector terminal is slightly bigger than the emitter, and hence they cannot be interchanged with each other. So BJT offers low packing density compared to CMOS logic, as we don't have a provision to source or sink the current in CMOS logic, and hence it offers low fan out, whereas we are using two BJT transistor in BiCMOS logic. One is using to source the current to the load, and another one is used to sink the current from the load, and hence it offers high fan out. As I told you, source and drain can be interchanged, and hence CMOS logic is a bidirectional logic, whereas collector cannot be interchanged with the emitter,